Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know what it is. It's your boy, Little Kenny. We back with another video, another episode of the Over Exaggerated podcast. Me, my boy Dot. You already know what it is. We're gonna get back to another banger, another video. And today, you already know what it is. Cam's got the gear on. I do not. Did not come with the same energy I had last week, but wasn't because of a loss or anything like that. It's just showered. I ended up just putting on my orange shirt. You know what it is. Um, but to start off the monologue, to start off the soliloquy, whatever you want to call it, um, I think it's I think it's essential to start out with the fact that, you know, it was the game. This is technically the third time we were meeting up, possibly could have been taking a loss. 4 years now where it's just been kind of a shaky wrap. We had the COVID year, then we had 2 years where Ohio State just took these losses. And then this year, the year where, things were supposed to get back on track for the Buckeyes. Things were supposed to be, you know, right with the world, as an Ohio State fan would say. And I think we find out that in this game, in the beginning of this year, we found out, we can live by the kick or we'll die by the kick. And we died by the kick going into this year. Not going to say that's how we died over Saturday over the weekend, but it was one of the reasons, you know what I mean? It's little things to come back to bite you in the butt. Whether it was the questionable call before half, the drive itself, whether it was the first initial interception by Kyle McCord after such two standstill defensive drives, or the clutch time last play of the game. Technically, we had a few more plays. That didn't have to be the one, but it ended up being the last play of the game. And it was just those few things combined with maybe, like you said, we talked about it, not enough work in the weight room, not enough things outside, a lot of NIL and just factors, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are cheaters, that whole animosity, that whole thing put up on your shoulder. And then when you go in there and you go all the way out to Ann Arbor,
It's okay, brother. uh, I guess for give y'all a little monologue. I won't keep it too long. As a fan, you feel me? I like surprisingly, I was hurt. You feel me for a long time, but like surprisingly, these past 2 days, I've like come to be a lot more proud of the team. Like I feel like it's hard for a lot of Ohio State fans to accept right now. But like that was a really good game, and we could have won it easily, like so easily. And like two good teams played each other. Sometimes your favorite team just won't beat another good team, and it's okay. And as much as we don't want Michigan to be a good team that Ohio State loses to, there's gonna be years. It wasn't just yesterday. Wasn't the last time. Basically, this is a crazy spot. This is the first three-year losing streak since 1993 through 97. The two people running this show were not on this earth. The last time Ohio State lost to this team 3 times in a row. Crazy. I won't lie. But I won't lie. On the flip side, it was nice to see a couple of my Michigan friends hit my inbox up right after the game, and I was expecting them to be a little more mean, but a lot of them were pretty respectful and good game, crazy nail biter, blah 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 blah. Y'all got a good team. Hope y'all make the playoffs. So it's a new day and age. Obviously, like you just said, I think you hit it all on the head. I think you hit the nail on the head once again with 3 year monologue. But it's just that one to me, I wanted that one just because like it felt like we hadn't had a close game with Michigan in a while, and
mm-hmm.
it would have felt really good. I just feel like these games feel a little bit more of a punch to them when you take them, and it feels even worse when you lose them because like we got to wait 365 days to get it all back. So outside of that, it was Thanksgiving. You feel me? I ate good. I got to see my family. I hosted Thanksgiving over here at the crib for the second time. Feel me? I had a whole bunch of badass kids running around. There was some football on. We had a lot of football on Thanksgiving. I think we had 3 games, 4 games. You feel me?
Yeah,
We got
four
a lot. We
games.
got to get into all of it. Obviously, rivalry weekend. It was a crazy weekend. You feel me? But just wanted to say very, very thankful for our couple of listeners we got out there. The show ain't big yet, but we growing. You feel me? Wouldn't be growing without y'all. So thank y'all very much. Thankful for y'all. Thankful for my bro Kenny and the show. You already know what it is. Thankful that y'all want to hear what I got to say. And you feel me? Let's have a great rest of the year and the rest of the holiday season.
Most definitely, man. It was it was tough going into this. It was tough going into this weekend. Obviously, with the rivals, and all these games getting played, and just things going down. It was a busy, busy weekend. We're still trying to solidify who's the Heisman, who's going to get into the playoffs. Like, even though Ohio State Michigan was probably the biggest game with implications on it, that wasn't the only game with implications on it. And I mean, we could start off by bringing up Ole Miss versus Mississippi State. I mean, it's one of the second best teams, third best teams in the SEC right now. Ole Miss, Battle of Mississippi. You know, it's always going to be one of those. Who's Mississippi State coach?
Mississippi State coach, I have no idea who it is after Mike Leach. Rest in peace.
For sure, for sure. I can't remember. I know it's a guy. I mean, I'm not gonna highlight that as a good Mississippi State team. They're 1-7 in the SEC, but
Oh,
it's good to see Lane going out there getting the job done. You know what I
facts.
mean? Like
Facts. It's always tough to get it
Jackson
done in a
Dart
rivalry game.
still showing he's still in college. I think he might play another year. Who knows?
Come on.
Um, Oregon, the Battle of Oregon. I mean, it was a battle of states, guys, between Mississippi, Oregon, and Texas. It was
You
going
guys.
down.
You guys. I I apologize because I feel like I don't know if I jinxed it. I don't want to say that, but like I should have just stayed quiet and let DJ Uyagawale do his thing because like it was like right when I started predicting it and trying to really ride the wave, it's like he just went
Mm.
back to being regular old DJ, and it's. I watched that game from. I tried to watch it from start to finish, bro, and just Oregon State's offense is just so frustrating to watch, and it was 14 to I think it was 14-0. I turned on the game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State marched all the way down the field and made it 14-7. Ken, there was like 40 seconds left before the half. 40 seconds. All they had to do was not let them go down the field and score a touchdown, and it would have been like a 14-7 game coming out of halftime. Literally walked down the field and scored a touchdown, 21-7 going into halftime. Like game was basically over, bro. They came right back out, scored again. It's like 28-7. I never pictured DJ Uyagawale going out like that, and I should have knew. I should have knew he was gonna get to the big names on his schedule, and he was gonna fizzle out just subtly, and it sucks because I really wanted to see him have a good game. But like I said, but Oregon, that wasn't the only touchdown they had. Like it was like anything they wanted to do with Oregon State, it was working like offensively, and their defense is nasty. Like everybody talks about Ohio State's defense, Georgia's defense, Michigan's defense. Like Dan Lanning has coached a pretty good defense out there, so obviously they got to beat a really good team next week, but we'll see if they get into the playoffs and can show this defense off. I really think they might make some noise against a good team that some people might not think they'll stop. Honestly,
Mm-hmm. I think that Oregon State just had a tough week. They just played Washington the week before, and they gave it their literal fucking all. So to go into a warmer weather Oregon game a little bit the next week after, like you said, I mean DJU, that pro style offense they run out there in Oregon State, it just doesn't compare to the sort of college pro style that they're trying to run out with Bo Nix. You know what I mean? Like Bo Nix is getting ready for the league just as well as DJU is. The only difference is Bo Nix has two of the top almost 15 receivers in the fucking nation right now. And like you said, that defense is good. They probably, if I'm not mistaken, 7 points. I don't want to say that's the lowest point margin they've given up. They've given up a few six balls, but like, see, they've given up 6, 7 points. One, two, oh shit, 5 games this season. That was the 5th time they've done that. Um, so definitely a good defense, underrated for sure. They're not top 5 in the nation, but they could be top 10 if I'm not mistaken. There's just a few other defenses like Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, that just go past what Oregon is capable of doing. I mean, and it's the Pac-12, so you're obviously gonna have some liabilities. But overall, just a great showing from Oregon. I think that going into this next week, they did handle Oregon State a little bit better than Washington did. So maybe you can infer on how this next game is going to go. Oregon, when they played Washington the first time, just was not as good as a team as they are now. They know themselves exactly what they want, exactly what they can do. Um, they can open it up all the way and have everybody go for almost 200 yards, or they can subtly make everybody go for less than 100 and still beat you by like 20. So it's good to see Oregon doing what they're doing. I'm upset for DJU, but I don't think that's going to get in the way of his plans of going to the league. He definitely shouldn't stay one more year. If he stays one more year, I cannot, what's the word? I can't vouch for any mistakes he makes next year if he stays. Uh,
Um, it's it's Christmas season, right?
oh.
Yeah, it is. And Michael Penix Jr. is about to light Oregon's ass up like a Christmas tree again, bro. I really don't know why you just tried to come in here and say Oregon's about to walk in there and do any of that. Like, bro, come on, bro. You was the one that was cheering on Michael Penix Jr. in the first game. Like, don't come on. I like Michael in that game. I think Washington can still get him. Like, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I don't know, bro, because everybody is on that now. Everybody that I'm hearing is trying to Oregon's about to wash these. I don't think so, bro. No.
Penix does have everything to lose. Bo Nix already lost to the same guy, so if he loses again, Bo Nix has nothing to lose. Um,
There's something to prove. Come on, man.
they could each lose the Heisman, but I mean, uh, I want to move forward though. Battle of Texas. Texas versus Texas Tech. Not even a battle, to be honest. It was 57-7. I think it, I think it was Texas defense that really just went out there and was doing the damn thing because Quinn Ewers only went 196, one touchdown, and one interception. Jay Blue, the running back, was 10 receptions, or 10 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown. And then Worthy only had 49 yards and a touchdown. But um, I think it's important to highlight just the fact that okay, yeah, it looks like they were running the ball a little bit. Uh, yeah, 49 yards only. So it wasn't like they were doing nothing too crazy. The defense was really out there, but I really want to highlight the fact that Arch Manning actually did play this game. Um, it's weird the story that's going on in Texas right now because they did trot Arch out, and it was such a standing ovation. He threw a few passes. He didn't actually throw a touchdown pass, but I mean, he looked comfortable in the uniform. I mean, as comfortable as you're gonna look third quarter when you're already up 40 almost. So shout out to Arch, but now things are starting to get a little bit confusing out in Texas with the fact that Quinn Ewers just announced that he will be coming back. Malik Murphy is probably going to be entering the transfer portal. Where does that leave Arch Manning? No one planned on Arch sitting on the bench for 2 years. He already left high school early to come here. So could you see another transfer from Quinn Ewers, or are we maybe making a quarterback battle between Quinn and Arch? But then at that point, is Quinn maybe limiting his options?
I would hope Quinn would try his luck out in the NFL. Like, I don't. He's beat Alabama. Like, I know he didn't win the NFL. Or he didn't win the national championship, and he might not go to the college football playoff. But like, as far as NFL hopes go, I'm pretty sure he can leave this year. I wouldn't stay another year at all. For if I'm Quinn, I would just go. And even if I don't get drafted in the first 5 picks, like everybody thought I would, like just get to the NFL, let Arch Manning roll into that tenure now. That's how I feel. Like there's no point in transferring and trying to go somewhere else and get another NIL deal and all that. Like in my eyes, if he does, I don't know. That'll just be crazy. Just kind of crazy how everything's panned out because he easily could have stayed and sat behind C.J. Stroud, put in the work, put in the time, and been Ohio State's quarterback this season, and probably had another season to play on top of it to prove he's a top 5 pick next year in the NFL and do everything CJ's doing now. But he chose this route to go to Texas, so we'll see what he does. In my eyes, I don't think he should not go to the NFL though. Like that's just me.
Hmm. We'll see, man. It's not looking good too far so far. Reports are coming in hot.
Damn, Quinn.
Uh, I do. I'm not gonna cover all these games, but I do want to. I do want to cover. I might. I might. A lot of these were battles. Look, listen. It's important to highlight though. Missouri versus Arkansas. Missouri. Those two losses you took, y'all look like one of the best teams in the SEC, and obviously Brady Cook didn't have the craziest game. 112 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it was Cody Schrader with 27 carries, 217 yards, and a touchdown. Cody, Cody. I put money on you a few times this season. I regret not putting money on you the whole rest of the year, my dog. If I look at your stats, I'm pretty
That's crazy.
sure the Schrade man himself has had,
The Schrade man.
yes. Oh my God. I thought he almost rushed all year for 100. Since October 21st, I've gave these boys 100. 100 on South Carolina, 100 on Georgia, 100 on 200 on Tennessee, 150 for Florida, and 200 for Arkansas. Guys, the Schrader kid's a senior. Not sure how old he is, but he's 5'9", 200. Can we see Schrader in the NFL?
Yeah, but uh dang man, like everything to Missouri, like you said, one of the best teams in the SEC. Schrader probably will see NFL time. I don't know about the quarterback, bro. Oh my goodness. What a fall off for Arkansas, man. Like we were riding high just 2 years ago. Like ever since we missed that kick against Texas A&M, the oink doink, it has been a downhill ride. And I hope Arkansas can get out of it, man. Because it was just 2 years ago we were sending guys to the league. KJ Jefferson looked like one of the best players in the league. He just hit the transfer portal today. It's just shouts to Missouri, man, but Arkansas, dog, talk about a fall off. Like that's program in free fall mode. You don't ever want to get deemed that. Like it's tough.
Yeah, y'all lost Traylon Burks and didn't know what to do. Uh, man, oh man. The next game I want to cover, I just want to breeze over this one real quick. I mean, Michigan State still without Mel Tucker. Um, it's just kind of devastating what happened to that Michigan State team. I'm not gonna say I had high hopes for them, um, but prematurely losing your coach to something that probably should have never happened. It's just bullshit. But that still does not forgive the ass whooping they took against none other than Penn State, 42-0. Drew Aller almost thrown for 300 yards, probably the most yards he's thrown all season. Goes out there and obliterates State in the Lions Stadium, by the way.
Another team that's just obviously they lost their coach. We've had our few segments about Michigan State, but that was a Black Friday night game, and I don't know, like just man, like Michigan State, they weren't ever like go win the national championship good. Like they used to see the Rose Bowl. They used to win the Big Ten every other year and give Michigan and Ohio State a hard game every single time they played. And it's like ever since they let I forget the coach's name right now. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but I
Mm.
think it's Mark D'Antonio. D'Antonio. Ever since they let him go, it has just been terrible. A bad. I'm sure they'll get a coach soon. I'm sure the next guy that comes in will have a pretty good program to build off of. they get recruits still. There's just the fact that, bro, they just lost a coach. It's bad right now. It's been bad for the past few years. Mel Tucker had just kind of pulled them out of a slump. He came from Alabama, and it was like, dang, we just pay him all that money now, and it's just a lot of programs that were in the spot to take over just
Mm-hmm.
less than 5 years ago are like literally like nowhere near the top of the chain now, and it's really crazy how fast college football can kind of hit you in the face if you're not on top of your program. Some of these coaches just they're not tight knit, and it's starting to show in a lot of places right now.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Uh, Speaking of being tight knit, I wanted to bring up this Iowa team, man. Capping off the season 10-2, 7-2 in the Big Ten. Third, literally the best defense. I don't think they've hit an over all year. 13-10 Nebraska. I wasn't even going to talk about this game, but Iowa does have to go against Michigan this weekend, going into that Big Ten championship 2 years in a row. And honestly, this team is going to have to learn how to score 21 points a game. If, like, I mean, they have one game to do it. They're going to have to learn how to score. They're going to have to figure out, find the plays to put up 21 points at least if they're going to want to beat Michigan. I think their defense can handle everything they got going on, but it's like you still have to score the ball. The other highlight I do want to bring about this Iowa team just real quick, or the Nebraska team actually. I was sitting here, the leading passer for this game was none other than Chuba Purdy. Chuba, however you want to put it, the brother of Brock Purdy is out there slinging balls for Nebraska, folks. Um,
Really?
could we
Wow.
make? Yep.
Who would have known?
And we know this Purdy family has NFL genes. I mean, Brock only went to Iowa State. So I'm pretty sure Nebraska might be a bigger school technically, especially with history. So we could maybe see Chuba come in and do something in the
That
NFL in a few years.
that is crazy. Um, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually wild because I do, I always forget that Brock Purdy went to Iowa State. So for his brother to kind of go with the ops is crazy. Well, they're not even really ops, but just to go with the other school in the state is just wild. But
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring up Farmageddon, but I believe you did catch Farmageddon this year. I couldn't catch it. I wasn't aware it was going down.
Yeah, man. It was 42-35, Iowa State versus Kansas State.
Hmm.
I remember waking up from my depression nap that day
Huh.
after the Ohio State game. I woke up and I just heard we've got our first snow game. It was covered in snow. I don't even know how parts of America have snow all over them yet, and my town doesn't. But
Uh.
yeah, it was bad out there. And the player, I mean, actually, it was funny because I thought it was bad out there, but then Jalen Noel speeds for an 82-yard touchdown. It was huge for Iowa State. I'm sitting there like, bro, the kid is out there. He's going balls to the fucking wall, bro.
Hmm.
But you could tell it was that's what I'm saying. Jalen Noel, 3 receptions, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You might not have thought it was a snow game just reading that stat line.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
but
If you say
when
that
you go
stat
back,
line and asked what the weather was, I probably would have told you bright and sunny. Oh God.
but when you go to the running back stats, 16 carries, 276 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That might be the best game from a running back all season I've read stat wise.
Jeez.
276 yards on only 16 carries. Amarion Hampton hasn't even done that yet, y'all. Bucky Irvin hasn't even done that yet. So obviously these are bigger schools, but I'm just saying that's impressive. You gotta give credit where credit is due. Abu Sama the third. The other 2 Abu Samas are looking down on you, son.
Chill out. Oh,
Look,
go ahead.
and then it was DJ Giddens. He was 31 for 114 on the Kansas State. So you can see, but still another 100-yard receiver for Penn Sinat for the Kansas State Wildcats. So I think it's just funny that, like I said, in a game where the field is covered in snow, we've got receivers on 3 receptions going for 160. We got receivers going for 130, but then you still, like I said, got a guy almost going for 300 yards rushing. Like,
What? What
Unheard of.
else did you expect from a game called Farmageddon? Like, this is history for one. For two, Iowa State and Kansas State, they're always, those are two, like, you feel middle of the pack, tough to beat program. Like, you never want to have to play them if you're Oregon or, you feel me,
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. Just kind of like, that could be an easy loss that you think is an easy win. So, for when them two go up against each other, bro, like, literally no telling what's going down, the weather. The first time we've ever had snow. I don't believe that, but if it is,
No, it was the first snow game of this season. Like, not
oh,
like,
okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, because man, but either way, I'm sure they had fun out there, bro. I'm sure they had a lot of bragging rights. Who won the game? I'm sorry. You said Kansas State?
Iowa State did, yo.
Oh, Iowa State. What was the score?
42-38. Or wait, 42. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at different stats. Yeah. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. 42-35. Excuse me.
42-35. So a touchdown was the spread. Like instant classic mode. Like Farmageddon. We'll be here again next year. Damn, Kansas State has to go get it back. I seen they play for an actual trophy. Like I don't know if you ever been like by a farm, but they keep like the grain in the little silver thing. Like that's what it is. It's like a little Farmageddon trophy with the little farm. It's hilarious. Oh God.
Man. Farmageddon. Farmageddon. I was phased when Cam even said that. I was like, bro, what? That's a name. Look. I do just want to breeze over this game real fast. I think we do have to give credit where credit is due to probably the best Tulane team ever assembled. 11-1, 8-0 in the American Conference. I mean, the only team they lost to this year was Old Mississippi. They got one more game against SMU.
They can do this. They can do this. Is always the game that either makes or breaks Tulane season because SMU is also one of those programs that you never want to have to play. But Tulane normally gets 10 wins. They think they're going to get that 11th win and really be able to put it in the books. And then, boom, SMU just beats them in a crazy shootout. So I'm going to bet this game is a scoring battle. It always is. Like, they always get to at least 30 and 25 for sure. Uh, Tulane, man, like if they beat Ole Miss that day, just the season is so it's so
Where,
Cinderella like.
but where do we even rank them? They're literally still hovering at like 22, 20th best team in the country. Like, where does a 12-0 Tulane team, 8-0 in the American Conference, actually
Oh,
rank?
a 12 and
Like,
0 Tulane team would be sitting in front of a Texas right now as we speak.
Cap.
And maybe not
Okay, no.
Texas, but right behind Texas.
Okay, yeah, they're 22. So like 12-0, they definitely still got to be better than what? Tennessee's 8-4, Oregon State 8-4, NC State. Like, I'm sorry, we keep giving NC State all this fucking clout for some reason. I'm so confused about that. Like,
But I'm just saying Tulane 12 and 0 hadn't lost, beat an SEC Ole Miss team. Like that wouldn't be better than
um,
Texas after losing to Oklahoma and looking bad against Kansas State. Like
bruh,
they haven't been too good.
there's some
Like
team. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're not okay. Tulane could probably. I'll put Tulane over Tennessee. 12-0. 12-0 Tulane can
facts.
probably be better than Oregon State. I'm putting them over NC State. Oklahoma State has the best running back in the country, but I would still put them Oklahoma State. But then, okay, you can't put them over 3-loss Notre Dame, 2-loss Iowa, 3-loss Arizona,
We
2-loss
can't at
Louisville.
12 and 0.
These are no. You guys haven't played anybody but Ole
Two
Miss.
loss.
Notre Dame's losses are to what? Louisville, Ohio State, and like I forget the third loss they took. But bro, like
Still lost to Pitt.
Ohio State and then Clemson. Yeah, they lost to Clemson. And then okay, Louisville did sell. Louisville sold that day. But like even then they still beat Notre Dame. Like,
No,
and then they're
bro.
not better than LSU, Oklahoma. Like, they're
I mean, if we're being
still
honest, Duke should have beat Notre Dame. If you really want to be honest, like
no, that was a good Duke team. Riley Leonard, they literally have a whole
their coach
Duke.
just go ahead.
That's
Bro.
who we should get. Riley Leonard just entered the
No,
The
we
transfer portal.
need. Let's not even leave that to the other people, bro.
But the head coach Mike Elko just left for Texas A&M, so we could probably see we
Don't say
might
his
see
name like
Riley
that,
Leonard
bro.
at A&M.
Mike
Is that how you say it?
Elko.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
bro, come on.
He said it with aggression, but look, Mike. It's a lot of Duke people mad at Mike. I kind of was telling Ken, like, bro, y'all don't gotta be so mad. Like, it's a business. Like, he was at Duke. Everybody knows what Duke is. Like, I'm just here to get my shot to go to one of them SEC schools or Big Ten school or just a brand to try to revive it. Like, Duke is cool. Like, it's awesome, but it's not a football school. Like, no disrespect.
Facts.
So, I don't know. Like, I just kind of felt like people at Duke were being a little bit salty. And it's kind of messed up. He tried to, I guess he set up a Zoom call to let the team know. But I
That's
don't know,
it.
man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, what do you want me to do? Like, go hug every player, look him in the eyes, and tell them how much I love them before I walk out the door? Like, they know what it
Nah,
is.
I
We know
mean,
what it all is. So,
it's tough when you just feel like you had something with your coach and then you figure out it was just business. Um, Speaking of just business, that's all Georgia's been doing the past 29 games straight, just business. 31-23. They hold off Georgia Tech, even though Tech really wanted to win the Battle of Georgia that night. Um, I think that it's not really about the Georgia Tech game. This was just more of a move on type deal. It's about what can we do to get the 30th win in a row. We're going against Alabama next week. Milroe is coming into his own. We're not technically listed as one of the best defenses in the country. We are, but it's not a narrative. You know what I mean? It's just something
mm,
that we have instilled in us, but we don't have the N'Kobe Deans, the Jordan Davises, and the
Quay
what's the
Walkers,
other guy's name? Yeah, Quay.
Trayvon Walker, all that. But, man,
Yeah,
it's going to be a smooth game, I'm sure. I feel like it's going to be a little low scoring on the low scoring. Could turn into a shootout, but I don't know. Like, my heart leans more towards Georgia just because I really do feel like I don't know, because in that same breath, bro, like I just feel like Saban's gonna find a way. He's 7-0 in this game, the SEC championship. Three of those wins are against Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. He he hits a different level at this, even against in the national championship against Georgia. It took a pick six at the very end of the game in the fourth quarter for that to be like put away. Like it wasn't just you feel me. Like Bryce Young still had a chance. So I know Georgia's. I know Kirby's sitting up now. He's definitely got his ears perched up. These last few wins have been a little. I'm not gonna say easy because no win is easy. You got to go dominate. But he definitely hasn't had to fight for the line of scrimmage or nothing. You got to fight for the line of scrimmage against his team. You got to try to stretch the perimeter. You can't just float your receivers out there in the space and just think they're gonna get open. Like they got to work for it this week. I got the best DBs maybe in the nation right now. So
right.
gonna be a solid game. Man, if Jalen Milroe can play, if they keep Jalen Milroe in the game, he can make it. He just proved last week, bro, that he can make a play. Like, bro, that go ahead and move on, bro. Good win for Georgia. Definitely, Georgia Tech was in it for a little second, but obviously everybody knew Georgia was gonna put them away. So 29 wins straight. If you ask me, but you see the logo on my head, I'm biased. We're a part of one of those 29 that should have snapped that streak, but it's okay. We're not gonna talk about the past here.
Mm-hmm. Facts, man. I mean, moving forward, we were talking about Alabama. I'll just cover that game next. Um, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama. I mean, as strong as the team as they're starting to look, they still find a way to almost lose the big game. I've taken one loss this year to Texas. Auburn should have gone in there and got it done. They were up at the end of the game. It took a game-winning touchdown from none other than Jalen Milroe himself, where he almost went unrushed, and
Okay,
it almost looked like the DB looked unblocked. After further review, I mean, it was a great pass, but
it was okay. I watched the Ohio State game at my auntie's house. I got a couple of aunties and uncles from the South, you feel me? And they was like, right after the game cut off, my heart was still broken. They were turning the TV off into Auburn and Alabama game, and it was just crazy to see the dynamic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my family going through a whole lot of crazy stuff right now, but to just see football kind of bring us all together. There was a whole bunch of different fans in the house: Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama. Everybody was going at each other's throats. It was a fun time, but man, like, just the way them two games unfolded that day, dog, like, to go, both of them went down to the last possession, like, literally had everybody in their seats all the way up until the last possession. Jalen, 4th and 31, fourth and
Mm-hmm.
goal, mind you. Like, we
Yeah.
started this within the 5. It went to 4th and 31 after a few penalty calls. I think he got sacked. Like you said, bro, rolled over to the left. Best pass he's thrown probably in his life, point blank period, let alone his Alabama career. Probably literally kept theirs. Like, they were losing that game. Literally. Like, Auburn, you were saying that DB needs to do something. I was kind of trying to stand up for him. But now I'm sitting here like, no, bro. Game on the line. You got to fight. You cannot let that receiver catch that ball, bro. This is what we do. We beat Alabama. Like, we're used to this. Like, how did we let him? We had the job complete, and we just let them throw their way into glory. But now it's just another Alabama historic win. So tough Auburn, bad season on top of it. Like, the only thing that would have been good would be that 7th win being Alabama. And now you're sitting here with 6-6, heartbroken seniors that'll leave, only getting that one win against Bama that just that stung. Like, damn, the one you never got. That's the one that always hurts the worst.
Facts. Facts, man. Moving forward, the next game I want to talk about, the Battle of Washington, man. It was a close ass game. Michael Penix couldn't even watch the game winning field goal go up. That's how nerve wracking it was. The guy we were just talking about earlier in the show, Cameron Ward, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He had himself a day, but it just wasn't enough. That Washington team was just packing a punch. Rome, 7 receptions, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. To see Washington go out and, complete the season, one more game to go. Obviously, we're about to play Oregon one more time, but I mean, they're right here. You didn't, like, we talked about it. It was a joke. Like, I mean, if Michael Penix can get there, and then all he has to do is beat Caleb Williams, and if he beat Caleb Williams, he can beat Oregon, and if he beats Oregon, he can beat DJU, and then at the end of the season, he'll be the guy. Like, he's right here. He beats Oregon one more time. There's no doubt in my mind he's the Heisman. With the body of work he's put together, I know
Uh,
everybody loves Jaden Daniels with the
it's
stats and this,
Jaden,
that, and the
bro.
third. But
It has
if
to
my
be Jaden, bro. Even with the losses, it has to be. You cannot let. Okay, 12-0 Washington is nuts. 2 wins over a team that was favored against them twice is nuts. But, bro, what Jaden has shown, the stat lines he's put up on top of it, like, I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna value the SEC schedule a little bit. You might be right, bro. They might just say, forget it. It's a miracle season from him. Give Michael Penix the Heisman on his way out. Like, that's an old quarterback, man. Like, I know Jaden Daniels has been here for a while too, bro, but that was injury involved. Like, bro sat out Nebraska and didn't do a lot for what? Or yeah, I think it was Nebraska. He sat there and didn't do a lot for a minute, man. So it's just give it together, Michael.
Miami, it was Indiana, but no, bro,
Oh, I'm tripping. My bad. You're right. Red
got to
and
give
white.
Penix Jr. the love, man. Uh, I don't know if it's realistic for his Heisman hopes, but we really gotta have the conversation if he goes and beats Oregon this weekend. A few more state battles I want to cover before we move on to the NFL. First things first, the Battle of Florida. Without Jordan Travis, Florida State ends up taking out Florida. It's not been the best Florida team the past few years. 24-25 or 24-15, excuse me. Um, no Travis, no Jordan Travis. Florida State moves to the 5th best team in the country. I feel bad for them because I really did have them going far in the playoff until that injury. I mean, Jordan Travis and this team did look like a national championship team, and it sucks that it's kind of getting taken away with them from them because of the fact their quarterback's not here.
I am kind of more on the side of take it away from them than I was last week. I hate to just say it so blatantly, but like I don't like if they finish the season 13-0, they have a real case. I do believe that. Like if they get the win over Louisville, which honestly I do think they'll get, but I don't know. Like I said it on the show last week, if they go in there and they lose that first semifinal game by more than 20 points, it's going to be a lot of teams that are sitting there like, wow, like we all knew that was going to happen without Jordan Travis, and like what is the point? Just to say we were giving a team that hadn't been here in a while their shot. Like we all know, everybody knows you're not the best, one of the four best teams without him in the thing. Like in a year where there was an expanded playoff, like this would be perfect because like you still have a chance to prove to everybody like, nah, we didn't need him. But it's just like, but when there's not an expanded playoff and there are teams with full rosters that have their guy at the helm,
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of feels, I don't want to say unfair or whatever. Like you guys won 13 games.
Yep.
It feels like the system is being exploited almost by a team going undefeated in that case and losing their most important player. So that's just me. I understand if you feel a total different type of way and feel like I'm being unfair to the Florida State Seminoles and everything they did this year. But I'm like, Jordan Travis makes that team 10 times better, and without him, it's not going to be the same going up against the Georgia or Michigan or an Ohio State if they made it, or Texas or Oregon, Washington. I think they'll get them. But that's just me, though.
That's fair, man. Hold us out because we don't got our guy. We get it.
Come on.
Uh, Moving forward, the Battle of Kentucky. I mean, Louisville is in Kentucky, so it's the Battle of Kentucky. Kentucky ended up coming out with that dub, though, 38-31. That's where the second loss for Louisville came in. Okay, because if they were 11-1, this would be a whole different conversation we'd be having. I mean, that ACC, oof, dude, it's not bad this year, but it definitely, with the top being kind of top heavy with Louisville and Florida State, those aren't two teams that you just be like, where's Clemson? And then my team, North Carolina, they blew too many games, so you just can't even bring them up. Um, but it was Kentucky taking the win. Ray Davis takes it was pretty much a walk-off touchdown, 37 yards. Ray completing the season. I mean, he's had a great season. Jake Plummer from Louisville definitely still having a great season. I think that next year, this Louisville team, if these guys aren't all seniors, I think they could come back and maybe have an SEC or an ACC winning like season. You know what I mean? Like they're right there. They're a game away anyways. They've already beat Notre Dame, the team that's like artificially in their conference. That's probably like the toughest team they'll ever play. Like besides maybe an SEC team here and there. I think Louisville might have a real shot of being contenders next year. This was not a pretend season.
I did hear a few podcasts I like to listen to earlier talking about what team might be in for a fall off, and one guy said Louisville probably is going to get brought back down to earth, and the other guy was kind of arguing back and forth with him, saying some of the things you're saying, like, nah, I think Louisville is good right now. Like, I think they do got a bright future. So I definitely think so too, for sure, for sure. You got to win the Battle of Kentucky, bro, in your miracle season. Like, you haven't been here in a while. Finish the job. And I know it's a miracle. It's a rivalry game. Kentucky is a great program. Definitely should have paid a little more attention to that because I should have bet with Kentucky. But finish the job, Louisville. Come on, guys. We
Mm-hmm.
could have got our 10th win right there. Or, I'm sorry, our ninth win right there. Sorry, our 11th win right there. It just, what are we doing? To the ops? Come on, y'all.
Man, oh man. All right, all right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, man. Next game. Next game I want to talk about LSU versus Texas A&M. LSU takes them out 42-30. Jaden Daniels, 11 carries, 120 yards rushing. Malik Neighbors was 6 for 122 with 2 touchdowns. Malik showing why he's probably the number 2, if not number 3 best receiver in the country. He is a finalist for the Volitnikoff Award next to Rome and Marvin Harrison, which I like the fact that I was actually able to get the top receivers right this year. Like, I feel like Keon Coleman got the short end of the stick not having Jordan Travis these past 2 weeks.
Mm.
But even then, like, Malik just looked great, like, from game 1. Marv, obviously dope. And then Rome just coming out of nowhere, like, put my money on him once and then haven't looked back since. So Jaden Daniels, though, did throw 4 touchdowns against the Texas A&M team. Like, I know everybody, like, when you're putting up 120 yards a game rushing and then you're still throwing for 4 touchdowns, like, those are Heisman numbers.
Those
You
are
can't
Heisman
deny
numbers.
that.
Nope.
But we're not sure if it's good enough, even with all of that body of work. Next game, Battle of Arizona. 2 guys that ended up on my parlay this week: Noah Fafita, and C. Scattaboo himself, man.
Mm.
2 guys, when I've been looking at the stats, I just see them like, okay, like, you can definitely bet Scattaboo for 50, and then Fafita really only needed 2 touchdowns. He went in there and got 5 of them for me. 527 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Fafita wanted it that night. I don't know how old this kid is, but boy, why don't you go ahead and jump in the transfer portal? He's a freshman, guys. Fafita is a
I
freshman.
think Fafita definitely just put his little name on the map for himself. I think he's a
He was
freshman.
the
I think
backups this year. Jaden De La Roya was supposed to be the starter, if I'm not mistaken.
he
He's a
is a
junior
freshman.
quarterback. Yep. Yeah, Fafita's a freshman. He wasn't supposed to start this year.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, he definitely just made a little name for himself. He might get a shot somewhere else, but even if you don't, Arizona State, dang. I know they're sitting here looking at Jaden Daniels like, damn, man, it would be nice to have him back because Brandon Ayuk, Jaden Daniels back in the day. Come on, man, we
You
used to be
gotta stop
nice.
bringing that up.
No, bro.
We
We used.
we we don't know if that's true.
Come on, bro. Brandon Ayuk, man. Now they're losing games to the in-state rival, and it felt like Arizona State was on the rise and Arizona was on the fall. And now with Fafita playing like this, it feels like Arizona's kind of flipped the table on its head these
Mm.
past few years. So, like, come on, man. Y'all had Jaden Daniels. Y'all had Brandon Ayuk. Y'all had the recipe. Like the sauce was cooked.
Come
Y'all
on,
was
brother.
cooking. Why y'all turn the stove off? Like,
Couldn't find that extra piece. I couldn't find that last little something, man.
see,
It's tough trying to get
They
guys to
sent the
come out to
most.
Arizona State. It's some baddies out there, but bruh,
Man, come on, man.
you ain't got no culture. Speaking of culture, 56-23, Notre Dame taking out Stanford. The only reason I'm talking about this game is because it was Estime himself with 25 carries, 23 yards, or 200. My bad. Jesus. My bad, y'all. 25
Sheesh.
carries, 238 yards, and 4
Sheesh.
touchdowns. Estime was running his ass off. Audric is his
Audrey.
first name. Yeah.
Audric Estime. Jeez.
So I just wanted to shout out Estime, kind of highlight that. Stanford had a guy named Ashton Daniels out there. Is that
Ashley?
Jaden's brother? Do I gotta look that up real quick?
That's not his brother.
It looks like him.
That's not his brother, bro.
Ashton Daniels. Give me 2 seconds.
I don't think Jaden Daniels had a brother. She might have. Face. There's no way.
Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. I think they're just 2 kids named Daniels.
Yeah, you don't have him yet, bro. Get out of there.
Juan Daniels is his father. Is Juan Daniels? Oh, Juan Daniels was a wide receiver at Georgia, and he played in the NFL. And
Georgia?
you know,
Okay.
and And his brother and his dad played in NFL Europe. What the fuck?
What? No way.
Oh, you know what that means. We'll see Ashton Daniels throwing touchdowns in London a few years from now. Get the narrative right. They might as well just sign me up to write the narratives for these players.
Don't even start capping.
Come on, man. I just found the Purdy brother. Y'all want to see the Purdy brothers in a few years?
No, bro.
Double irrelevant men?
Double irrelevant men.
Yep. Guys, not only was Brock Purdy selected as an irrelevant man, but his brother Chuba was as well. You know, not Nebraska quarterback wasn't nothing too that would just jump off the board, but that one team just ended up taking a shot. Hey, speaking of hey, got to bring up the two battles in North Carolina, or the battles of Carolina, right? Because Clemson is in North Carolina or South Carolina. Clemson's in South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
South Carolina for sure.
Copy that. So, yeah, we got South Carolina versus Clemson. Spencer Rattler versus Cade Klubnik. I don't think Klubnik was playing.
He wasn't? Oh, club.
No, he did play. I'm capping. This was probably the worst passing. Wow, these stats are bad. Klubnik, 15 for 27, 100 yards, 1 interception, 31.1 QBR. Rattler, 16 for 32, 112 yards, 1 interception, 35.6 QBR.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it was rough. Are both these guys done? Like, what's the narrative for Rattler?
He's done. If you ask me, there's nothing left for him. He won't get picked up by an NFL team, I don't think, and there's not really much else to be said outside of that.
Man, just a kid who really fizzled out, man. I think that if Spence were to transfer one more time, we could maybe see something happen, but that's a stretch. That's a long shot.
Yeah.
Next game I want to cover is the Battle of North Carolina. If you thought it was a battle out there, it was the NC State Wolfpack versus the North Carolina Tar Heels, and North Carolina went in there and fucking blew the bag, 39-20. NC State Wolfpack showing why they're better than Tulane.
They're not better than Tulane, bro.
Showing why they're one of the best 3-loss teams in the country. And it wasn't Amarion Hampton going off for 100 yards rushing this game. It was Drake fucking May with 9 carries, 106 yards. Drake May showing why he should at least be the second best quarterback in this draft besides Caleb Williams. At least in my opinion.
No, I hear you.
But
I think North Carolina's. Do you think they? What do you think the losing team has to do? Like, are you just really not allowed to really say nothing? Like,
man, 39-20
is tough. Like, especially when you have more time, Drake May and all them. Like,
when y'all show up to the Duke's Mayo Bowl this year, I really hope y'all look in the fucking mirror and realize where y'all are. Notice that the Mayo Bowl is probably in North Carolina. You're not even going to get to travel. That's how bad you fucking suck this year. Like, your bowl game is in your state.
Well, I'm sure 9-3 will get you a little bit past the Idaho Potato Bowl and into the damn.
But that's what I'm saying. That's good for NC State. We're 8-4. Like, bro, we're about to play Citadel Bowl. Like, bro, come on, bro. We might be in the fucking Mako Tire Bowl, bro. Like the
Mako Tire Bowl.
I'm pretty sure that is a bowl. The Mako Tire Bowl. Like, we got motherfuckers arguing over who's gonna be in the Pop-Tart Bowl, and we're over here, bro. We're about to play in the motherfucking.
I just want Ohio State to have a terrible season so we can get the jerseys with the Pop-Tart patch, man. That would be so sweet.
Hell no, with the Pop-Tart patch. Like, bro, we supposed to be in the Capital One Bowl right now, bro.
Come on.
What the fuck? It's a fucking bullshit, bro. I'm about to look up the bowl names this year to see what bowl we're probably potentially gonna be.
Us?
Bowl. I'm talking about North Carolina as us. My
Oh,
bad.
North Carolina? Yeah, you're going to the Potato Bowl, bro. Have fun in Idaho. We'll see you later.
Stop. Let's see. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, the Celebration Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl, the Cure Bowl. See, we're probably gonna be in the weak ass Cure Bowl, bruh.
No, you're not.
New Mexico Bowl, the LA Bowl, the Independence Bowl, the Bahama Bowl. Like, bro, that's probably where UT's gonna be. They were at the Bahama Bowl last year.
Yeah, forget we used to go.
But see, look, there is no Bahama Bowl this year. Guess where the Bahama Bowl is gonna be located to?
Hmm.
Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't fucking make this shit up. We're
Wow.
probably gonna be stuck in North Carolina.
The losers.
You got the Frisco Bowl, the Boca Raton Bowl, the Gasparilla Bowl. I'm so weak.
Mm. There's no
Birmingham Bowl, the Camilla Bowl, the Armed Forces Bowl, the Idaho Potato Bowl. That one is in Boise, Idaho at 3:30.
Idaho Potato Bowl.
The 68 Ventures Bowl, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl. That one's in Honolulu. The Quick Lane Bowl. That bitch is in Detroit. If we get stuck in the Quick Lane Bowl, bro, I might go to that. First Responder Bowl, Guaranteed Rate Bowl, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
Yeah, that's in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm pretty sure. I don't know who has Guaranteed Rate. What is that? State Farm or something?
I'm not even sure, dog.
Military Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl. That's another bowl that's already in North Carolina. See, like that's what I'm saying. We're gonna get stuck in Charlotte, playing at the Mayo Bowl,
going to the Mayo Bowl,
the Holiday Bowl, Texas Bowl, Fenway Bowl, Pinstripe Bowl, Pop Tarts Bowl. That one's in Orlando.
Oh,
the Alamo Bowl, the Gator Bowl, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, that's Book us sweet. There. That one's in El Paso, Texas. The Liberty Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Music City Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Arizona Bowl, the ReliaQuest Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and then semi-football playoff is the Rose Bowl. Then you got the Sugar Bowl, and then you got the national championship game.
Sheesh.
So, I think those were technically in order from worst to best.
They were. Those are freaking crazy.
The worst bowl is technically the Myrtle Beach Bowl, which is in South Carolina. We might end up going a state down. Celebration Bowl. The Cure Bowl sounds ass to me. I'm sorry. Like all these other ones are like, okay, like at least we know we're going somewhere we're at. There's no Bahama Bowl. Like what the fuck?
The Myrtle Beach Bowl is so that sucks. That sucks.
The Quick Lane Bowl. I'm sorry. Where's the Rocket Mortgage Bowl isn't that what it's called? Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick Lane. Where's that?
That's in Michigan. That's where the bowl game is at. But I don't know what Quick Lane.
Wow.
Yeah. Mayo Bowl is in less than a month away, y'all. 27th.
Ooh, it's about to be lit in the Mayo Bowl.
Facts. Last college game, I did want to just highlight real fast. Like Liberty versus UTEP, it was 42-28. Liberty 12-0, 8-0 in the CUSA. Just another good season by Liberty. And to highlight Liberty, they're the only undefeated football team and men's basketball team in the country.
Crazy.
And Liberty's in Ohio.
Liberty is in Ohio. Coming up, Liberty, they just put a quarterback in the NFL who's trying to find his way. I'm sure they'll put some players in the NBA soon if they can stay ranked. Hey man, I might be taking Liberty to the Sweet 16 in the bracket this year or something, bro. Like, we got to start getting into this college basketball soon, anyways. But outside of all that, man,
It's time to move on to the NFL. Because, guys, we still got a whole half a show to go. What are y'all on, man? Look.
Thursday games, man. They were fun. They weren't even bad.
It was Thanksgiving this week. Like I said, we were giving thanks all over the place. The Packers still own the Lions on Thanksgiving. Nothing has changed there. I'm actually mad as fuck because, like, I'm not mad I lost my bet or anything crazy like that. That was on me. I'm more just mad at the Lions for going in there, having everybody's hopes up that things were just going to be different this year. You should have seen the fans in Detroit. We were in Detroit. For what?
I told y'all.
Fucking bullshit.
I told y'all. The Lions. Oh my goodness. Okay, Jordan Love had 3 touchdown passes. Uh,
Tied his record.
Tied his
Career
record.
high.
That's what that did. The Lions outgained the Packers in this game. They had more first downs than the Packers in this game, but they lost the turnover battle. There was a fumble by Jared Goff 3 times. I'm gonna say that again. There was a fumble by Jared Goff 3 times. One of those fumbles got picked up and taken to the crib by the Packers to extend the lead 20-6 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
The Packers never trailed in the game. The Lions fake punted in their own red zone, which set up the Packers to score another touchdown late so that when they tried to go on their comeback tour, they could only get to 22 points and end up losing 22-29, I believe was the ending score.
Yeah.
And it's that is a comedy of mistakes. Like they literally, if you watch the game, everybody kind of was waiting for the Lions to kind of do what they did to the Vikings or the Bears 2 weeks ago, and have the comeback win in the fourth quarter and get their little game-winning drive and Lions. But the mistakes just kept coming, and Jared Goff kept giving them the ball back. It's just you can't do that, bro. You cannot do that in this league. And then the fake punt, that's on the coaching. I'm sorry. Like Dan Campbell's a great
Nah.
coach. Don't get me wrong, but that you cannot call a fake punt in your own 27-yard line when you're down by 11 points. You're trying to make a comeback. You're just now getting back into it. Just punt the ball. Play safe. Play field position. You got one of the best defenses in the league. Why are you overthinking it? It was like 4th and 7 or 4th and 8 or something. It wasn't even like it was 4th and 4 or nothing. Like, I feel like they were being overly aggressive. They thought they could do whatever they wanted to do with the Packers, and I know that's a little bit cliche, but like in the NFL, the talent gap very, 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 very close. Like you can lose to anybody on any given night if you're not on your P's and Q's, and they were not on their P's and Q's. So I don't know.
Facts.
They'll get it together. I feel like it's still one of the best teams in the league, and the Packers just got the best of them that night. Thankfully, because I was we got our asses kicked the first time we seen him. I knew he wasn't that soft.
Fucking bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit. Look, next, time to cover the potential MVP of the season. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, 45-10, the Commanders.
Masterclass.
Prescott out there eating the turkey leg after a dub. But it was Deron Bland getting another pick six, breaking the record, 5 in a season. He might be the best receiver. He might be the best Cowboy defender since the Hood's coach, Deion Sanders. No one's ready to say that. No one's ready to really. Deion never had 5 pick sixes in a row.
Is he even better than Trayvon Diggs?
Yes, that's literally the guy he's backing up. Trayvon would have never had 5 interceptions. Pick sixes?
Wow.
Maybe 5 interceptions, not 5 pick sixes.
I was gonna say he's had 5 before, bro. Anyways, you're right. Deron Bland definitely did do something. He made history, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that the Commanders decided to throw the ball his way is even more fucking crazy. It just goes to show how stupid some of these NFL teams and offensive coordinators are. They literally throw at the guy who's setting history. But Brandon Cooks, also stepped up and had a good game this game. He had, I think it was 4 catches for 79 yards on 1 touchdown. Like, bro was eating. He made some people some money this week if you bet is over. And honestly, I know Brandon Cooks has kind of been a little bit quiet since he got to Dallas, a little bit more quiet than people wanted him to be. Some people blame that on Dak. Some people blame it on Brandon Cooks. It's nice that he got that game in to show, yeah, we can do this. They're getting ready to go into, I don't want to say playoff mode, but like they're going to need every weapon they can to beat teams like the Niners and the Eagles, which they showed they could fight with this year. And if Dak Prescott can play at this level, bro, and keep it up, I'm not trying to make Dak sound like, oh, go ahead.
We still got to play the Eagles, Bills, and Dolphins in that order, 3 weeks
Well,
in a
bro,
row.
that's what I'm saying. Like we've already, the first game against the Eagles went very well for us. Dak didn't turn the ball over. You feel me? The first game against, the only terrible showing we had was against the 49ers and the Cardinals. Those are the two bad games this year, like the two normal Dallas Cowboy blunders you get every year. So like, they're handling their business. You know, I'm not trying to call them a Super Bowl team yet, but like if they can set themselves up to be in it in the fourth quarter against Philly in the playoffs, I don't know. I just feel like Dallas can swing with anybody with CD the way they're playing right now. If they can get Brandon Cooks rolling and Tony Pollard running again, might be over with out there in Dallas. Might be toting that ring for the first time since the 90s.
No way.
Come
on. Next game I want to talk about is the Niners versus Seahawks. Last Thursday game, it was a night game, man. Christian McCaffrey had a huge half. Hold on. My bad. He was 19 carries, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, man. McCaffrey.
Wow, no, McCaffrey did have a crazy game. It was his, I don't want to say it was his first 100-yard game in a little bit, but he did go through a little slump right there, so it was nice to get McCaffrey running. My boy Brock Purdy, come on now, perfect passer rating, the first time that's ever been done in the 49ers organization history. Sorry, you feel me? Joe Montana, Steve Young, they never did that before. Brock Purdy has, bro. Go. But anyways,
wow.
Sorry, I had another thing. It was also a Debo game. Debo didn't have a crazy eye-popping stat line. I don't think he got into the end zone, but like you feel me, they utilized him. Like he touched the ball a couple of times, caught like 4 passes, ran like 5 runs. He was scampering a little bit, got a few first downs that were heavy to pick up. So it wasn't the Debo masterclass, but it was definitely the hey, let's get Debo some of them incentives on his contract real quick before the season starts rolling into the second half of the season. You feel me? The Seahawks, bro. I'm not gonna harp on them for too long, but it is just, man, like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Geno experiment. It's on and off. It's obviously consistent and inconsistent, and this that don't work in this league. Like I love Geno. I don't want to write him off, and then he goes crazy and calls everybody out, bro. Like at some point, bro, the Seahawks might have to start looking on to a new quarterback that can at least, I don't know, just a little more mobile, a little more dynamic.
Yep.
Do a lot more with this offense with the weapons they have right now, because they have weapons that should be running this league. And I know the defense ain't great. The offensive line has problems. It should not be as bad as it is. So, pick it up, Seattle. Y'all got a great coach too. Like everything y'all can possibly have, top to bottom. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Pete Carroll is like 70 years old, bro.
Come on, that's 70 years old of straight winning, like college and NFL level, bro. Been doing this.
True. Come on. Bro, he was 60 when he won that chip with Russ.
Doesn't mean anything.
Moving forward, man, we had a Black Friday game. Dolphins, Jets, 34-13. Tyreek Hill was out there. I mean, I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill, he did have a touchdown, but it wasn't the Tyreek Hill game that everybody was hoping he was going to have. He did have 102 yards, but it was Jalen Waddle out there, 8 receptions, 114 yards. Like, it just seemed like Tua and Jalen Waddle were finally on the same page. I was telling Alex, I'm like, I think people are starting to finally realize that maybe Jalen Waddle was the best out of those four receivers.
Mm.
Henry, Jerry, Devontae, and Jalen. I think he's definitely translated a lot better to the NFL. He's got his guy in the quarterback who threw most of the balls to him anyways. But just a great showing for Jalen Waddle. Probably, he's on the list for masterclass of the weekend. Raheem
Mm.
had a good game, 20 yards, 94, or excuse me, 20 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tua didn't have to do too much. There is no Zach Wilson. It is still Tim Boyle out there. Brees kind of had a pedestrian game, 7 for 25. Nothing going on with Brees.
Man, they were terrible for Brees.
And then even Garrett Wilson, 7 for 44 with 1 touchdown. That obviously Zach Wilson isn't there, but to even catch the ball 7 times and only have 44 yards is
insane.
It's a rough day.
Oh man, just imagine. We've said it a few times on the show, bro. Just this offense with Aaron Rodgers was crazy. I was kind of hating on it at first, but seeing how this is all unfolded. Damn, man. I'm not saying the Jets missed the window, but that defense just played at a great clip. They weren't injured. The offense was really, really good. Brees Hall came back off the injury, looked pretty all right. Offensive line got a little bit banged up, bro, but just to know that you definitely could have made a run in the AFC with this good ass defense with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, all that experience. I know it's frustrating for sure. I also had Tyreek Hill left and returned. He he had 100 yards in the first half, bro. I
Yep.
don't know if he had 2 touchdowns, but
One
he was eating. He was eating the whole first half, and he went out, came back in. I thought he was going to be done for my fantasy team. He ended up coming and getting 11 more points and called it a night. Still ended up losing in fantasy somehow, but it's whatever.
Nah. Those losses, man, they hurt. Especially when it comes down to that last game, the wire. We'll get to that game in a little bit. Cam can bring that back up, but shout out to the Dolphins getting that divisional game gone and done and over with. The Jets were looking real strong division play wise. Pretty sure we did beat the Patriots once. We beat the Bills once. Beating the Dolphins just would have. That's gonna put them in the playoffs a lot faster than it will the Bills, just because they've already beat each team in the division once. You know what I mean? And people like Alex, not people like Alex, but Alex and other people will sleep on these divisional games. They think oh, it's the Dolphins versus Jets. The Dolphins should do exactly what they did to the Jets every single day of the week. But if Zach Wilson's in this game, it's a whole different story. The Dolphins, for some reason, now they play a little bit different. And then the Jets obviously are starting to play a little bit better. I'm not saying everyone knows I hate Zach Wilson. He's one of my worst quarterbacks I like in this league. I think Mike White, Taylor Heineke, 1,000 other guys off the fucking bench could fucking replace him. But I think that even when he's around, this is still a way better team than it would be with Tim Boyle. Okay, it's not Flacco, or like I said, it's not Mike White. It's Boyle. So if Zach Wilson would have been here, I think we'd be talking about how Zach Wilson blew the game, because that is 2 of the Jets' losses right now. There's no reason the Jets can't be 6-5 instead of 4-7.
Facts.
It's literally, we're 2 Zach Wilson interceptions away from our destiny, from really being one of the best, from not being one of the best teams in the league, but being one of the better teams in the league. You know what I mean?
Man, it's just crazy because even in some of those losses, it's they've been right there. Zach Wilson taking the blame for it at the very end of the game, or not taking advantage against the Chiefs.
It's tough. And
Yeah.
you'd argue, with a 4-2 record, we kind of look better than the Falcons and the Saints. And that's the next game we're going to go into, the Falcons and the Saints. Guys, we're talking about 2 5-6 teams in the same division, 24-15. I just Ritter.
Ludacris performed and flew in from the ceiling in this game. T.I.
Luda?
choked his son up at this game because he was talking to his
It
mom
was
crazy.
at this game?
Bruh, this
Okay,
was
I thought they were at a party. I didn't know they were at the game.
they had a celebration of hip hop at the Atlanta, so that's why it looked like a party, you feel me? Like it
Okay.
was a celebration of hip hop at the Atlanta Falcons game, you feel me? They let Ludacris perform. I seen him like you feel me? They had a camera rolling with him. They brought him down on a harness from the top of the stadium, bro. I don't know if you remember the bird flying and stuff. Oh God, but
Mm-hmm.
they did the same thing with him. He was just moving slow. He was performing. I'm pretty sure it was "Move, Bitch." Oh God, I think it was "Move, Bitch." Get out the way. He put his performance
What was
on.
move, player? Get out the way. He wasn't saying bitch on national.
Oh, bro, what song
Go
was it?
ahead.
I forget what song it was. Whatever song it was, I seen another video of Jameis rapping the words to Derek Carr before the game, like so passionately. Like Jameis was really into it, bro. Like Drew Lock when he was listening to Jeezy, but like Jameis was really, but he was rapping it at Derek Carr. Like
I didn't know
Derek Carr did
Jameis
not.
and Derek were cool like that.
Derek did not feel like Derek was literally sitting there looking like, bro, why do you exist in my life, bro? But anyways, once the game came rolling around, the Saints were doing fine. I picked the Saints defense up in fantasy this week, hoping that they would save my day. And it's just ironic how everything goes about. Saints come out doing all right. Derek Carr just doing Derek Carr thing. Everybody thinks we're straight. Boom. Like just hit this wall offensively like we hit every week and can't get nothing going, can't get nothing going.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Falcons took the lead by a field goal, and then out of nowhere, when they came back out there trying to force too much, boom, pick six to the damn crib. And I'm sitting there, should have watched, or should have picked up the Falcons defense instead of the Saints defense for fantasy because I would have ended up getting the win because of that pick six. It just hurts when you try to make the move in fantasy and you're sitting there looking at the end of the game like, wow, man, how did we get here, man? Oh, God.
It was a great game for Chris Olave before he left that game as well. 7 receptions, 114 yards. He had that early. I think he left the game with another concussion.
Yep.
This is like his third this year or like third in his career. He's only been in the league
career.
2 years. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know, man. We talked about like the rampage of concussions in your favorite player. You know what I mean? Like, but I think like in Chris's standpoint, I think he might need to go get that looked at just, to avoid a Tua injury where he's over there just doing something crazy on the field. People are wondering if Chris Olave will ever play football again. Like, I mean, he plays in a tough division. Like, they're stronger out there. You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah. And I mean, it's always it's tough because you never. Sometimes just your head hits the ground crazy hard, or another play, it'll be a player just you were trying to block. You weren't even a part of the initial fray, but just the way your head was laying, somebody came in and hit the pile hard. Your head just took all the brunt force. Like, so concussions are always tough, bro. It's because you never even want to talk about the C word when you're a football player, and when you get one, it's kind of like you gotta be careful, but you also want to come back to the game, but you also got to feel you don't want to come in like you just said have that injury. So I hope Chris Olave will be fine. Obviously, the third and fourth one is when you start sitting there and look and start getting scared. Like, why? Okay, do we need to put more pads in your helmet, bud? Like,
yeah,
you're moving a little lightheaded now, dude. What's going on? Like, I'm sure we'll figure it out though.
facts, man. Speaking of figuring it out, definitely want to move forward, segue over to one of the sneakiest teams in the league right now, 7-4, the
Stop
Steelers.
calling them that. Oh, thank you, God.
What you think I was talking about?
The Broncos, bro. I was about to get mad as hell, bro. Don't laugh, bro. I know that's why you're wearing orange.
I'm not talking about. That's not why I'm wearing orange. I'm not talking about the Broncos just yet. One of the sneakiest teams in the league right now is the Steelers. Like I said, 7-4. They 16-10. The
Mm.
Bengals. Obviously, the Bengals are without Joe Burrow. So, I mean, to only win by 6 is sad. They should have probably won by 10.
Hey, be nice. This was the first game without their offense coordinator. They just fired him, Matt Canada. And
Yep.
this was, I've seen a lot of Steelers pages and everything posting. Under Matt Canada, they had 398 games where they didn't have 400 yards of offense. And then the first game without Matt Canada, they had over 400 yards of offense. So
Kenny Pickett did throw for 278. I didn't think Kenny Pickett could even throw for 250, let alone 278. So, and we did get Pat Fryermuth back. Pat Fryermuth went 9 for 120 yards. Like, guys,
sheesh.
Pat Fryermuth had been on my brother's IR. Actually, that's a lie. He had been on my brother's roster on IR all year. Like, he was injury reserved, but he was in the starting lineup all year. And, like, Pat Fryermuth has
He's that
lived to see
valuable.
the day where he stepped back into that lineup healthy and is putting up points again. It didn't help. It didn't help my brother win, but it made the score close. So
That's great.
I was really hoping he could get the dub, but it's just crazy the fact that Pat Fryermuth had been like 11 weeks straight, had just been in my brother's lineup. So he's back now. As far as Cordell goes with the Bengals, like, look, bruh. I think that obviously you guys did have Burrow at the beginning of the season. He just came into the season hurt. That's what it was. So you guys have been preparing for this all year. Like, Jake Browning was there in the preseason. Like, I'm sorry, you should have already gotten a backup months ago. Like, as soon as Joe Burrow got hurt that first time, we should have got a backup worth the fuck. But instead, we paid Joe Burrow. Now we're out of money. We got to keep Jake Browning. No one ever thought he was really going to start, but then Joe Burrow goes down. Now Browning's starting, and it almost seems like we don't know what the fuck to do. Like, and I was going to say, you got to win a lot. You got to win. You're 5-6 right now. There's no reason you shouldn't be 8-3 instead. Like, you have got to win 3 more games earlier in the season. Like, you've got to. Like, they were tough losses. Like, you win those games. Obviously, you don't plan for any of your guys to get injured, but you've lost every single divisional game this year. You lost to the Ravens, you lost to the Steelers, you lost to the Browns, and you lost to the Ravens twice.
Jeez.
You lost to the Steelers and you lost to the Browns. Like,
they beat the
you
Bills
quite
somehow.
literally, this didn't turn into a shit on the Bengals fest, but you guys quite literally won't make the playoffs at this rate. You already can't win the division anymore. So now you got to go in. You got Jacksonville, the Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs, Browns. So you beat the Steelers and the Browns one more time, you might be able to get lucky. But, I mean, the Browns are 7-4 as well. Steelers are 7-4. Like, they're about the Ravens are 8-3. The North is the best. Like, the North probably has the best 3 teams in the league as
Facts.
far as, like, combining it together with the whole division. Because other than that, you got the Eagles and the Cowboys, but
Facts.
it doesn't go too far after that. So I'm a little disappointed in y'all for not having a backup plan. But I do think with the games I just listed off with the rest of the schedule, y'all should at least be able to win at least 3 of those, like, without Joe Burrow. Like, if you can't get a dub without Joe Burrow, then everything I said was correct, and it's dumb. Like, how can you be in the NFL, know that you're not going to win the game without your quarterback, and then just still not go get somebody else? Maybe you're trying to, leverage that draft pick, get a middle of the round draft pick, and you might be able to pick up another quarterback or pick up these top receivers in the fucking, like, that are coming into this. So I don't know. Cordell, I love you. You're the biggest fan of the show, man, but something's got to give. Dead ass. And it's got to happen next week.
I'll be quick. I feel like they just gotta. Well, They don't have to now. It's a little bit late, but if they're gonna make any type of run, oh man, this is why you got to make sure your run game is just on point. Because like if your quarterback does go down by fucking worst of the worst, look at the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson out for the season, just like Joe Burrow, the same exact week, like dang near. And they haven't missed a step because they can run that football and they play good defense on the other side of the ball, which the
Yeah.
Bengals don't play bad defense. Sometimes they do. But, when you can't get Joe Mixon working with a backup quarterback and you put your quarterback in terrible, stressful situation, third and long, second and long, like backup quarterbacks do not operate well in those situations. That's why once the quarterback gets hurt for a lot of these teams, they end up only getting 2 wins without their quarter because normally because they don't have a run game. So Cordell, I hope they figure it out. If anything is gonna get fixed, it's gonna be Joe Mixon starts turning up, and we all know that's very, 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 very tough to depend on. Not saying he can't, but just tough to depend on. So, like Ken said, love you. We know you're the biggest fan of the show, bro. We hope you got the heart to keep watching, man, because I know it's tough when your team starts doing this on you, bro. For real.
That shit is hilarious. Hey, man. Speaking of something hilarious, I just want to move forward and talk about Bryce Young and the 1-10 Panthers. They don't even have their draft pick. Every single loss they take makes it better for the Bears. The reason I laugh is because the owner, I don't know if it was the owner, the president of football, they got all those weak ass names out there. Maybe even the GM, like they came out and basically said they liked CJ Stroud better. But
Makes sense.
I think okay, that's what it was. They tried to blame it on the Bears. When the Bears didn't take Bryce, or the Bears were saying they weren't going to take Bryce, or I forget how it went down, how they traded the pick and Bryce became the first pick. But regardless, pretty much when the Bears pretty much said they weren't going to take Bryce, they felt like they almost had to take Bryce number one. I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know how you can come out in an interview and say we wanted CJ, but when everything else got lined up, we took Bryce. Like dead ass, and that like, what does that say? What does that say about Bryce?
I feel it was a coach who wanted. It was a coach who wanted CJ more, like heavily.
Okay.
He was, I want CJ. He just got fired, and then it was the organization.
Frank
Sorry.
Wright, yeah, he did.
Yep,
Sorry,
and
that was
then
old
obviously
Colts coach.
it was some higher ups that was feeling more the Bryce Young route at that time. You talking about is what I've seen. So I mean that is on this last game they just lost. They freaking tried a screen on 4th and 5, 4th and 9. Sorry, I don't even know what it was. It was for the win. 4th and 5. We got to keep the drive alive. We just got a little bit of life sparked into us. They tried a wide receiver screen, threw it behind the line of scrimmage. Literally, they were already in prevent defense, so they just came down on the tackle to end of the game. Like I'm pretty sure they got to him before the line of scrimmage. It's just in the Ohio State game in Michigan, we didn't really get into it as much as we could have, but we learned a lot about conservative play calling this past weekend. If this past weekend taught me anything on both NFL, college, like being too damn conservative and not being ready to take that risk when that time comes in the game, like it's gonna cost you. It's going to cost you.
Facts.
And because the other team on the other side of the other coaching staff, they're gonna get a 4th and 1 and go for it. Or they're gonna get a crazy pick six because they called a blitz and it got your quarterback sped up out of the pocket and now he's trying to make a play downfield. Boom. You just do a stupid pass. That is why you take risks in football. You might get burned on the back end sometimes, but if you have a good solid team, you can make some crazy things happen if you got dynamic playmakers. As to watch Bryce Young get that call, throw the ball over there, he knew it was over with the moment he let the ball go. He gets tackled, and you can just see Bryce Young drop his head, look down at the ground, and just like sigh. Like his parents were dressed in Alabama gear at the game. Like they didn't have a lick of Carolina Panther gear on them. They were wearing Alabama logos down to the core. It's just I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, Bryce Young is times in Carolina is over, but it is just like, dog, like
It's
what
over.
was the point of putting a quarterback in this position? Like, we are nowhere near ready to have a quarterback this good. Like, in this league, you obviously want to get your guy, but you got to be ready to have him at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to be in a Deshaun Watson Texan situation. And that obviously went crazy off the walls later into the situation. But in the beginning, all Deshaun Watson wanted to do was leave, and because he didn't like the coach, and they didn't get him the right guy. And at some point, bro, you end up squandering your chance to solve that relationship. You don't want to do that with a young quarterback.
Facts.
I don't
No
think they'll
doubt.
figure it out, but they could figure it out. That was a rough game though. To see it end that way, just it kind of encapsulated everything wrong with the like. I feel bad for Bryce of all people because it is like, bro, I didn't do no developing this year, and I'm getting calls like this at the end of the game. Like, what the fuck am I here for, dog?
Don't worry, Bryce. I think this might be one of those situations where Bryce Young can just weasel his way out, and deservedly so. It just sounds like the higher ups want Bryce, but after another year, I mean, like you can't go get shorter O linemen. You know what I mean? Like we can't just go get O linemen that are like 2 inches smaller than our current O linemen and go get like some 6'3", 6'4" O linemen rather than these 6'6" behemoths. Like no, it's like at some point, because even seeing over the line matters. Like that matters. And I'm not trying to say Bryce. It's like Kyler Murray does it just fine, but Bryce Young isn't athletic as Kyler Murray is. Like
True.
not in any sense of the frame. So I think this was a rough year for Bryce. He's definitely gonna have to look in the mirror and like he's probably never lost so much in his fucking life. Like that's typically how this goes for kids like this. Like, you know, you just spend your whole lifetime, like you probably lost this much in elementary school, wherever you went to elementary. But I mean, if you were good, like you just weren't losing, then you go to high school, you don't lose in high school, especially when you're at that level. You go to a good high school, and then like you go to college and you go to Alabama, you don't lose when you're at Alabama. You have multiple national championships. Um, and then you come to the NFL and you lose 10 games, like it's a culture shock. So
Mm.
I think that Bryce, and it's not all to blame on Bryce Young. Like Bryce Young was the reason, like bro, but he's got to throw a touchdown pass. I mean, if I said Bryce Young, that Bryce Young kid from the Alabama uniform isn't gonna throw a touchdown pass every single game in the NFL, you'd have looked at me crazy. At least one. Shit, CJ's throwing damn near 3 a game. Like CJ would never leave the game without one. And like I said, maybe if the roles were reversed, I'm sure Bryce Young would have a lot of success out there in Houston. That team was a lot more built than people think.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a weaker division than the Panthers play in. I think so, at least. Like you got the Colts, Jaguars, and well, actually, that's a little bit of a stronger division. Jags aren't bad. Colts are the Colts, and then who's the other team? Why am I blanking? Oh yeah, the Titans. And then you got the Titans. Like Titans are just
Wait, whoa. I thought it was the Panthers, Jags, Saints.
no. My bad. I'm talking about I am currently talking about the South. The South is the Texans,
Oh,
Colts,
I'm tripping. My bad. Now I'm following.
Jags,
My bad.
and the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. It's Panthers, Saints, Buccaneers, and I almost said the Seahawks.
Falcons.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Carolina. Carolina is the worst team. It goes 5-6. Atlanta 5-6. New Orleans, but Atlanta obviously just won, so they have the tiebreaker. And then Tampa is 4-7, and then 1-10 for Carolina. So Bryce Young is technically in one of the worst divisions in football, and he's still struggling pretty bad. So
I mean, it's
there's
not. Oh my god! Like I kind of do wish I don't wish. Just in case CJ Stroud couldn't find success out there. But like I do kind of wish CJ Stroud would have been the selection in Carolina just because
Panthers, the first one. Yep.
they have Adam Thielen. You feel me? They got Chuba Hubbard. Everybody does say the Texans are obviously a lot better than what the Panthers were, which is true. I will give people that. But like CJ's arm is a huge reason why, like, just the passing game is where it's at, which opens up the running game, which lets the defense sit back and relax. So, you feel me? It kind of goes hand in hand, which is what you kind of the only thing that you can hope for with a rookie quarterback. Like, you don't ever think it's going to be as good as C.J. Stroud. Like, we might truly have a chance to win every game we're in, but like, you kind of want the Jordan Love experience. Like, this is our first year, the Desmond Ritter. We might still be in the game at the end. We're struggling. We might be missing easy reads and doing rookie things. But at the end of the day, we're seeing improve. It's just like from Bryce, we did see a couple of moments with Thielen where it was like, okay, he's starting to establish a connection. He's starting to get his feet under him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like all out the window with this last game. These last like 3 games, I'll say was just almost like, I don't want to say regressing and just shit on the kid, but bro, like at some point, bro, if it's that bad, like you can tell Justin Fields has kind of been playing with a reckless abandonment for like 6 weeks now. I bet for the last 6 games he's played, and he's just kind of been like, well, fuck it. They don't care about me. I don't care about them. I'm about to go out there and play football how I'm known to play it. That's just being the best player I can be. And you make sure, like, when you're that good, bro, if you're Bryce Young, like, at some point, bro, you do got to start putting the ball in different windows and start really getting outside the pocket a little bit and moving your feet. Like, I know it's tough. You're not the most mobile quarterback ever, but I don't know, man. They make his life hard, obviously, but he makes his own life hard. Like you said, he's smaller. It might be a long roller coaster ride out there if he don't get out there soon. So, good luck, Bryce.
No doubt. Moving forward, man, definitely want to talk about the Colts versus Buccaneers game. Jonathan Taylor ended up scoring 2 times that game. Wasn't the leading rusher, though. It was Rashad White, 15 carries, 100 yards. Gardner Minshew didn't look too bad. And it was the Colts who ended up getting the dub, 27-20. We needed this, man. I'm pretty sure we were coming off a bye this week. Yeah. We went into the bye with a win, 5-5. Came out of the bye 6-5. One of the middle of pack teams of the league. We just lost Jonathan Taylor. He's not going to be in the game this next week coming up. So we're gonna have to start Zach Moss. But it's nice to see the Colts getting a dub. I think that we should be beating teams like the Buccaneers. I mean, Baker doesn't have too much going on. Transitioning to the Buccaneers and what they do got going on, I think that Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have kind of went from the best duo in the league. Obviously, it was with Jameis and with Tom Brady. I mean, it's tough. Like, you're going to be that. Like, when you got Jameis Winston, who was technically slinging the rock out there, and then you got the GOAT in Tom Brady, you know, you are going to be the number 1, number 2, arguably, like, you know what I'm saying, best number 1, best number 2 receiver in the league.
Right.
But obviously, we're a few years removed. Baker Mayfield, I like him, but he's not Tom. You know, it's definitely a significant drop off, regardless of the Baker name or however you feel about him.
I'll do Baker.
But I think that either these guys, like, obviously they're locked into contracts. I think they either need to get on to their next little destination and finish out their careers, or they need to press down for an actual quarterback out there in Tampa Bay. Because I think Tampa Bay had their little window with Tom, and now they're just going back to that below the belt 2-win team. They've got 4 wins right now. They probably they aren't striving to win 5 games, it feels like.
Probably dead right, honestly. Ugh. But I mean, at the same time, it's not too late. Still a little bit of time. You can end the season with pride. Once you get to this point in the season, that's the only thing you can kind of stress about. And I don't know, just try to hammer out them last few wins. That's all you could do. Like, it is kind of a lost cause, though. Like, ugh.
Man, oh man. Speaking of lost causes, definitely got to bring up the Patriots going against the Giants, 10-7.
Such a lost cause of a game. Uh,
Come on, man. Tommy DeVito still out there getting it done. Mac Jones is just bad.
yeah,
It's real bad.
got benched again.
I was about to say, yeah. Belichick went back to Zappy, and Zappy threw another pick, but Mac Jones threw two of them.
3 interceptions.
Ramondre Stevenson did have a game, but I mean, it just wasn't good.
Man,
It wasn't good.
and the
Leading
Giants.
receiver of that game was Jalen Hyatt.
Wow. And the Giants, they won that game, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
By 3. It was a game winning. It was a game missing field goal, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro.
Yeah. Aided by a late missed field goal.
Wow. Oh yeah, I do remember seeing that now. Man, the freaking man. The Giants had one hell of a ride this year. Tommy DeVito, like, didn't have a bad week last week. He honestly didn't have a bad game this game. Like, I'm not
The
saying
Commanders offered him more money at the beginning of the season, by the way, guys. But I think DeVito stayed home to be a New York kid.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. But either way it goes. I mean, terrible season, terrible game, terrible scheduling, honestly. Those two teams did not have to play each other, and they did. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of over it at this point in the season. Like, this is that part of the year where we get the boring games, and I don't know, just the under hits crazy, and nobody does anything the whole damn game, and there's a whole bunch of injuries all over the field. So, not saying I'm over the football, never over the football, but just kind of over the boringness of some of these teams. Like, you could tell they're checked out and clocked out, which teams are really amped up, all in it, just playing hard, balls to the wall.
No cap, man. Speaking of balls to the wall, that's what Trevor Lawrence had to do. Trevor Lawrence had to go balls to the wall, 24-21 against C.J. Stroud. 364 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception from Trevor. CJ went out there 304, 2 touchdowns. Got Nico Collins back involved. He was the leading rusher for his team that day. Crazy.
Dalton Schultz only
really thought CJ. Don't bring up Dalton.
He just blew my parlays. But no, it was a good game. Freaking, I watched the game from basically start to finish, and the first time they played, CJ's tore them motherfuckers up. Like, it was bad. And then the second time it came around, it felt like, I don't want to say they had CJ figured out, but it could have went like that again. But Trevor Lawrence was way, way more accurate. The receivers, you could tell the receivers kind of knew, okay, we're going to have to keep up with what they're doing on the other side of the ball. Like, our defense ain't going to be able to stop them. And it kind of was like that for a little bit. The defense did a cool job with CJ, but they got a little bit of help from the refs. There was a huge no call at the end of the game. I should have kept the drive alive for the Texans. But, like, it is what it is. Like, Texans were on a magical run. It is annoying because it's – I feel like I say it every goddamn week. Like, when you have really good players or a really good quarterback or just, you feel me, a team that's hot, like, you don't want to do things that, as a coach, that slow the team down or hinder the team. And it's just like, bro, the Texans head coach sometimes just the timing of his timeouts or just the sometimes, bro, the team will go 3 and out, and it's just like, we've been on fire all day. Why are we calling a screen pass on 3rd and 7, like, trying to be conservative now for no reason? Or he'll take a field goal when he could go for it on 4th and 2 and push the lead, and then he'll end up losing the game by a touchdown. Like, it's been little things this whole year with him, and it's just, it frustrates me when there's a whole bunch of talent on your team and you don't utilize it the right way. Like, just, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain, but just it's a lot of just either not thinking in certain moments and then overthinking in other moments. So it's like, wow, like, just call the game, be natural with it. You got one of the best young arms in the league. You got really good receivers that are going crazy right now. Like, there's no reason why your most experienced pass catcher on the team and Dalton Schultz should be leaving with 2 yards. Like, that's a scheme thing, point blank period. And I know sometimes things have bad games. Like, bruh, that's our most experienced pass catcher against a team that's not that good at defending the tight end. So, I don't know. I like watching the Texans. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm a Texans fan as much as I like the Bills or anything, but just watching them, it gets frustrating because it's like they have slow quarters all game long, and then they get to the third and fourth quarter when they're down, and they just say, "Fuck it, we'll just throw with CJ every play," and that's the only time they have real success. And when they try to run the ball, nothing. When they try to mix in running the ball and throwing the ball and kind of getting both together, nothing. Like, once they're down by 10 and they need it all, let's turn it on. It's ridiculous, man. They got to figure it out. They can win a lot of games with the talent they got. They're finding ways to lose them.
Man. CJ. Thought you was going to go out there and get it for the O, man. Moving forward, talking about the O, none other than the Browns losing to the Broncos. The Browns were 7-4 now, but they could have been 8-3 after this game. God damn it. Literally being one of the best teams in the league, by the way.
No, they're not.
Had they won that fucking game. Broncos, one of the hottest teams in the league right now, really getting that shit done. They end up, it was the Broncos defense, though, surging with 3 takeaways, excuse me.
Crazy.
Just ridiculous.
The score in this game had never, ever, ever been done before. This was scoregami, y'all. 29-12.
Sean Payton, quote unquote, says he had no idea what scoregami was before this.
Man, a lot of people don't know what it is. You feel me? Some scores have never been had in a game. You feel me? And sometimes you might really, there's a whole website and everything. Sometimes you might really have a game that finishes where it's just never, ever been finished like that before. Broncos and Browns was one of them. I think there was the Bears 12-10 game. I thought that was definitely a scoregami when I seen it. And there was like 21 games that have been finished like that before. So crazy. Would have thought 29-12 was one of them. Oh my God, would have thought 29-12 was a score that teams have hit a lot. For some reason, 29-12 are just 2 random scores that teams never hit. So weird, but you learn something new every day.
It's tough to get 29, man.
Uh.
Moving forward, we got the Rams going up against the Cardinals, man. Divisional game. I was a little pissed off. I had Darrell Henderson in my other league. He ended up with 0 points because they started and ran none other than Kyron Williams.
Wow.
16 carries, 143 yards, no touchdowns. Fucking bullshit. Matt Stafford, 229 yards, 4 touchdowns, though. It was a good game, but instead of it being the Puka Nacua Cooper Cup game, it was the Tutu Atwell, Kyron Williams, and Tyler Higbee game.
Wow.
So, yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Higbee.
Not to mention, Kyler has came back and quite literally can't get the Cardinals a dub. Those are Josh Dobbs' 2 wins. They're 2-10. Almost the same record as the Cardinals. Marquise Brown, 6 receptions for 88 yards. A little bit better of a game this week for Marquise. You know, I've been a little upset ever since we got Kyler back. It just has not been the same for Marquise. Ever since he left Lamar Jackson, it's been a little bit different for Cuz. So it's good to see him getting warmed up, but I don't know, man. Bringing Kyler back might have been a mistake. You just quite literally made the Vikings even better than they already were. I mean, I get it. You probably want another draft pick, but what are you going to do? Take another quarterback? Because that's the most Arizona thing to do. is to get a good draft pick, and then instead of getting a receiver that Kyler Murray can throw to and take some load off of Marquise Brown, we're 9 times out of 10 going to go get another quarterback and debate whether we even need Kyler.
Yeah. I mean, it might be time to debate. Probably not, though, but I mean, well, Kyler is tough because he imagine how good he'd be if he just watched film, you know? Like, but no, on serious note, he is really, really good when there are weapons around him and his line is good. Like, obviously, when the team is good, everybody's good, obviously. But, like, that Kyler Murray's skill set is made for other playmakers to be around him. Like, get the ball to other guys, you feel me? Scramble out of the pocket, make something happen. And then, in that same sense, the defense has to kind of stay more honest to those real weapons so they can't just come crashing down on Kyler when he leaves the pocket. They got to really stay downfield type thing, which gives Kyler more room to operate in space once he gets into it. So, yeah, obviously, he just got back. Like, he's obviously a little bit sloppy right now. Like, it's not going to be pretty after you take a long break like that. You come back trying to read defenses and dissect what's going on. They just got to make it easy on him. Like, get some quick first downs. James Conner's been running the football all year. They found a way to make it work without Kyler Murray. Like, don't get Kyler Murray back and make it hard on yourself and make him have to do everything. Like, literally, just get him eased back into it, find out what he's most comfortable with right now, and just keep doing that shit until he's comfortable with something else. And boom, throw that in there, and might end up building a whole new, better quarterback just from the shit. Like, before, it was kind of like he was sporadic. He was quick to leave the pocket. He was, once you contained him and sacked him 3 or 4 times, he made life hard on himself by trying too much, especially playing from behind. Like, he's has that mentality of, if we're behind, I'm just going to let it all hang out. And if we lose by 30 because I'm trying too hard, well, so be it. Just calm you down, reel your little stallion in. Oh, God, that's all Arizona has to do. I don't think they got to get a new quarterback yet. But a lot of people thought that with Josh Rosen. They drafted Josh Rosen, picked Kyler Murray the next year. So that's definitely an organization that'll get a quarterback out of there, no regrets.
No cap. Speaking of no regrets, we got Mahomes versus Mahomes. No, I'm just playing. Pat Mahomes throw 2 touchdowns as the Chiefs rally against the Raiders because apparently we had to make a comeback, bruh. Like, I don't understand what, like, I don't understand what the Chiefs got going on out there. We're getting Rashid Rice involved finally. 8 receptions, 107 yards, and a touchdown. He's coming into his own. We still got Travis Kelce. He didn't have that bad of a game, but outside of those 2 guys, and we dump it off to Pachenko sometimes, we don't have anyone we trust.
Don't have a soul and frustrated.
Sky Moore, Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Justin Watson, Valdez. Like, bruh, Valdez Scantling caught 1 pass and he has -1 yard. I think the Chiefs should have traded for at least 1 receiver, something like, even if you would have gotten Allen Robinson out there, bro, like something would be better than Valdez Scantling and what's the other guy's name?
Kadarius Toney. I mean, bro, they could have. I don't say they could have paid Tyreek. That was a whole 2 years ago. But I mean, man, it's just Juju Smith-Schuster didn't work out. Kadarius Toney's kind of been, It is. It does get to a point where you start to look around and wonder, like, all right, thank God for this Rashid Rice guy, because if it wasn't for him, we'd literally be Travis Kelce till the cows come home. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but it's just once you get to that level of our offense runs through getting Travis Kelce the ball, like, then it just becomes easy to defend. Like, we're gonna bracket him with a safety, a linebacker, probably another player with 3 players. And we're literally gonna make these other receivers run crisp routes and beat us all night because we know you guys want to run. You don't want to run the ball, and you won't run the ball. Refuse to run the ball sometimes, Andy Reid. So they came back, they got the win, but they made it look tough against a team that the Las Vegas Raiders, without any type of semblance of a quarterback. Devontae Adams had an okay game, but it makes you wonder because obviously last year the Chiefs were a little bit and they went into the playoffs and got all the way to the bowl and won it. So
To the bowl. Look, man, speaking of bowl, a team that was there last year, 34-7, the Bills in overtime. Jalen Hurts with a game-winning rushing touchdown, his second week in a row doing that. Cam. Josh Allen, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Not only that, he was 9 for 81 and 2 rushing touchdowns. The kid was on fire. He was on fire, but what happened?
Okay. The Bills outgained the Philadelphia 76ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, 3 yards to 1. The Bills, I believe the Bills lost the turnover battle. Oh, God. They had more first downs. The Bills had 1 time of possession. They hit more deep shots. And I'm pretty sure with those stats, it was the first time a team lost, ending the game with more stats in those categories. 39-0. Had you outrushed the team. Yeah, more rushing yards, more yards total. And they still found a way to lose. And the reason that was, if you ask me, is because Sean McDermott is literally the definition of everything that I can't stand of football coaching, the old school football coaching way, which is we have to be conservative so that we don't make a mistake. Like, it's so crazy. First of all, Josh Allen's fault for letting the drives dwindle out. But that kind of happens sometimes. You're not going to get every drive into the end zone. So it's up to your field goal kicker who gets paid money to come put it through the damn upright. He missed not 1 kick, but 2 kicks. One was from like 41. The other one was like 48. And it's just, literally, it's frustrating when you get to this point. You're having a good half. You're winning against a team that you're not supposed to be winning against. And you're trying to put these drives away. And you're missing these kicks knowing deep down in your heart this is going to come back to bite us at the end of the game when they go on their run. So I believe it was 24-14. Yes, 24-14. The Bills are winning. All we have to do is play good defense, at least make it hard for them to score. Do not give up a quick touchdown. What do they do? Drive 6 plays, 75-yard touchdown drive, like literally, I think it was less than 1 minute and 40 seconds. Stupid. Dumb fast. Can't let it happen as a defense. So 24-21 now. Josh Allen. All we have to do is have a somewhat long drive. Let's not put the ball in harm's way. Let's go out here, run the clock out. Interception on 2nd down. Literally. In our damn red zone damn near. So, boom, they score off of that. 27-24. We take the lead back. And from there, it's just a grinded out game. They get a 59-yard field goal to tie the game. After you've missed 2 field goals, they boot that bitch through the upright. 59 yards. Bang.
That is a bitch. It's a grown man leg.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's just, I didn't even get into the penalty calls just because we obviously on a time schedule and everything, bro. But this game was quite fucking literally annoying to watch. It's the reason I lost my fantasy game. If the last thing I'll say, the very last play of the game in overtime, Josh Allen and Gabe Davis quite literally had a touchdown. Everybody in the world could see it. Gabe Davis totally burns this guy. New offense coordinator. Maybe there's a few things that haven't been hashed out yet. Obviously, it was going on all night. Josh Allen was just weirdly throwing the ball to spots that receivers wouldn't be in. They were supposed to be in. It hurts you in the worst of times, bro. You dial it all up. 3rd down, overtime. We score a touchdown. We win. We're the team we've never had an overtime win. 0-5. Let alone we let the time.
With Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Sean McDermott as well.
Okay.
Has never coached an overtime win. And what did he do? He let the clock dwindle down to overtime, Ken. He said, we elect to go to overtime. I have Josh Allen, one of the best arms, but I'm not going to throw the ball. I'm just going to knee it out. Let's go to overtime.
Sad.
Did he want his overtime win? Probably. He was probably saying, no, I'm getting my first overtime win today, damn it. And literally, you get all the way down to the field. You drive the ball to the length of the field. Third down. Draw the best play up of the night. And for some reason, just Josh Allen and Gabe Davis ain't on the same play. Gabe Davis cuts this way on the corner route. The ball goes sailing the other way. Doesn't get caught. Field goal. The Eagles come back out. They've adjusted. They literally did not punt the ball the whole second half or during overtime, obviously, and they marched right down the field. It was the Bills calling prevent defense, which you don't do. Golden rule number 2 for me. Quite literally, just a comedy of how to lose a football game for a coach. And I'm sorry, bro, but Sean McDermott has been outcoached by the Jets this season by like miles in that first game. He got outcoached by the Bengals by miles, and they're losing games like a mug. And I get they don't have Joe Burrow, but like Joe Burrow literally lost to the Texans the next week after he got after they embarrassed Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott lost the 13-second game against the Kansas City Chiefs. You would think he learned not to call prevent defense in any situation in his fucking life. It's just it's so frustrating being a semi-Bills fan, having Josh Allen's quarterback for my fantasy team, their defense is on my fantasy team. Like, it's quite literally fucking crazy, dog. Just watching their game, sitting here like, all right, this is the week where they get it all figured out. Wow, they found another way to do something crazy. Okay, boom. This is the week where they could be the big, mighty Bills that we think they are. Nope. Sean McDermott decided to do this, and it ended up causing them the game. Like, it's just a part of me feels bad for Josh, but then again, half the time it's his fault. And then when it's not his fault, it's Stephon Diggs' fault. If it's not Stephon Diggs' fault, it's this guy's fault, that guy's fault. Like, at some point, bro, it's just a fucking culture thing, and that comes down to the coach, point blank, period. Like, there's a reason why Andy Reid and the Chiefs are a factory with it. Even though they don't have a weapon, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get Travis Kelce, good football. We're going to try to run the ball, and we're going to make you work. Point blank, period. And the Bills just depend on their talent, and for the past 2 years, it has not worked. And they just got a coordinator that kind of figured it out, and for some reason, the defense fell apart in the second half. That was my most long-winded segment. I've been waiting for that all goddamn day. Damn near got pain off my chest. This shit is annoying. It's like the sole reason. This team is the sole reason why I don't have the lead in my fantasy league. Like, quite literally. Just the inconsistencies that they have. And it's my fault because I rode with these motherfuckers. They give up dumb touchdowns. They throw stupid fucking interceptions and mad fumbles for no reason. As a fantasy owner, I'm stressed, dog. I'm stressed. God damn, bro. It's a heavy burden to carry with these motherfuckers, but I'm still in it. I mean, I'm not giving up yet. I got like 3 weeks to make the playoff. I'm right here. We're going to get there, y'all.
Oh, weak as fuck. He not lying, man. He is right there. The league has been a lot different. It has been a lot more competitive. So seeing when the NFL, like, just the players kind of just sell for you, or do they just you're literally like 2 minutes away from a dub, and then all of a sudden it's like, fuck, he's got Jalen Hurts and the kicker. No, the kicker was in my game. That's what I was sitting there butthurt. Cam's like, they're about to go into overtime. I'm like, what? The kicker's getting another, and the kicker actually got 2 more. Like, the kicker had one more kick after that. Well, he had the kick, and then Jalen Hurts scored the touchdown. So, but he could have easily went into that overtime game and got 2 more kicks or something crazy. Like, man. So the next game, I was looking at my phone. I actually got a update. Like, we already talked about the Panthers needing a new head coach with Frank Wright being gone, but like, Ravens ended up beating the Chargers, and I guess now Brandon Staley's getting fired?
I don't know how I feel about that. But at the same time, like, if I could sit here and say, oh boy, it deserves to be fired, then I could definitely sit here and make a case for Brandon Staley, or hear a case for Brandon Staley. So this league is tough. It's tough. Like, you don't want to, especially the Chargers were just in a good spot like 2 years ago, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's literally frustrating when you have all that talent that they got and they just find ways to lose game. They're another team that not as bad as the Bills with it, but they'll literally fight all night to be sitting there with a bottom feeding middle of the league team that they should not be playing with, and then they'll lose and everybody be weak. It's just like, damn, bro.
I'm gonna say because they made boom, beat the they lost to the Dolphins week 1, but that's fine. It's the Dolphins, but then you lose to the Titans another week after that. Then you win 2 games against the Vikings and the Raiders, and then 2 weeks later, or back-to-back weeks, you lose to the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Once again, like 3 losses on our schedule justified. That other one not justified. Then you beat the Bears, you beat the Jets, then you lose to the Lions, Packers, Ravens in that order. Like, as far as the Chargers go, I can't justify any of those losses. For real, bruh. And like, what is Brandon Staley actually known for? It's going for it on first or going for it on fourth. So, as much as I want to sit there and, what's the word? Like, get on him, press down, like, bruh, bruh, bruh. You're going to go out there and you're going to fucking, like, bruh. It's just the point that, like, Brandon Staley built the name off of going for it on 4th down. So when you go for it on 4th, and now it's starting, like, your name is starting to diminish because you're not getting those 4th downs. You're just, now we can look at the stats and say you've turned the ball over more than any other team. and then Cam, obviously, when you've got these margins are by 3, like 36-34, 2-point margin. 27-24, 3-point margin. 20-17, 3-point margin. We really got beat by the Chiefs 31-17, and that was a divisional game. Understandable. But then 41-38, 23-20, and then we 20-10 the Ravens. Like, it's like we're right fucking there every fucking game. And I know what old boy has been like, I'm not high on Justin Herbert whatsoever, but he's been battling injuries for the past 2 years, and that training staff fucking sucks out there in the Chargers. We know that. So when you got all these factors put together, Herbo is struggling. And then, like, you vouched to pay Herbo. Like, we didn't just give Justin Herbert the bag and not ask coach. You know what I mean? So, and then Keenan Allen made a little bit of a resurgence this year, but you haven't done anything to get another receiver in here. You haven't done anything but kind of just, we were arguing, LJ was arguing that this was the best defense in the league last year. They had all the pieces in the world. Like, it was a quick fall. I mean, a quick rise for Herbert and them. I don't even think they ended up making the playoffs last year. I can't remember if they were.
No,
they
had
lost
that
first game.
They lost to the Raiders, I think.
Yeah. So as good as this team fucking is, we can't even get into the playoff, bro. We're 4-7. We're the worst team in our division right now, if I'm not mistaken. Are we worse than the Raiders?
Yes.
We're worse than the fucking Raiders. Yeah, we're the worst team in the division. You're fired. You're done. I was about to save his job, but like after really reading all the,
you're done, son.
Get Staley the fuck out of here, bro. He's better as an offensive coordinator. I don't think he can control the whole keys to the car.
Probably right though, bro. That ass. Sad, but probably dead true.
Man, oh man. But we got one more game, then we got the masterclass of the weekend. Last game of the fucking week. Bears versus Vikings, Monday Night Football. DJ Moore saved my fantasy team. Well, going out there, 11 receptions, 114 yards. The Bears could not find a touchdown in this game whatsoever. The only touchdown scored in this game was by TJ Hockenson. I actually seen a bet where a guy won because he needed TJ Hockenson to have the first and the last touchdown. So I think he ended up putting like 40 on that. He ended up winning like I was gonna say 30 bands, but I can't remember how much he ended up winning. But like, bro,
so much.
The irony. Like, I'm actually surprised FanDuel didn't void the bet because there was only one touchdown. Like, yes, that was the first touchdown. Yes, that was the last touchdown. But like, there's got to be two. There's got to be two touchdowns. No, bro, you can't.
That's how it works.
The first can't be.
The first touchdown and the last because they gonna have who scored first. TJ scored.
TJ.
Who scored last? Well, technically, TJ, because that was.
There can't be no. That's what I was about to say. It can't be the last. Like the last touchdown has to be another touchdown other than the first. Like in my opinion, if I'm the bookie, I'm not. No, bruh. Because when you pay rent in December, fucking you pay first and or what was I about to say? First and last. You get what I'm trying to say. You pay first and last month's rent, bruh. You're not paying one rent, right? Oh, well, you feel me? It was the last month of the year.
Bro, that's different.
Fuck that.
But no, the DJ,
Anyways,
what's it called? DJ Moore, or not DJ Moore, the Bears, they kept running a screen route for some reason. Has a lot of people ready for this Justin Fields experiment to be over, on to a new quarterback. Y'all obviously don't have what it takes to develop him, and at this rate, like if y'all keep him, it's only going to get worse for him, and he's going to be out of the league soon because he's not going to be developing like his arm, like what he actually needs to get better at doing. Like y'all just have him doing dumb shit. So has a lot of people talking finally about is Justin Fields really going to get out of there? As much as Ohio State fans wanted the Justin Fields and the Bears to work, like I really think it's better for both parties to split, go separate ways. Y'all have a high pick. Y'all have a new chance. Like y'all traded up to get him. It sucks. Obviously, somebody believed in him out there. But it's like at the same time, bro, if this is what the best offensive game plan that we could come up with for a dynamic quarterback like this, we obviously don't need this guy. Like, we need somebody else to come in here and run this game plan that we are trying to do, because it's obviously not what he's good at. So let's just imagine Justin Fields on a Falcons team or a Niners team or a Jets team, or just there's so many lineups out there. Just if Justin had the time to develop and feel me, it wasn't so on his legs to move the offense and move the ball, I just feel like he would finally be able to spread his wings a little bit and grow and actually show, like, okay, here's what I'm good at when I'm comfortable, and I can sit in the pocket full of and make the reads and try to analyze what's going on in front of me instead of trying to be a quarterback I'm not. So
facts.
That's all I got really for that game, but like that was one of the most boring fucking Monday night games ever. I literally turned it on, turned it right back off. Like, not even gonna lie, I should have watched it, but it's just, I don't know. Like, they know what they're doing sometimes with them boring games. I feel like they know, hey, fuck it. Let's see if the Bears and the Broncos can do something crazy, because hey, it's the Bears and the Broncos. You never know, and then they end up not 7-10 with the New York Giants and Patriots or something. So hope they get it together, because them games be boring sometimes.
Man, oh man. You know what's not boring though? Announcing the masterclass of the weekend, guys, because guess what? None other my masterclass. I was gonna give it to Jalen Waddle, but I think we gotta agree. Brock Purdy, perfect passer rating, never done by Steve Young, never done by Joe Montana. Gotta be the masterclass of the weekend, right?
And I may just be biased, but man, Josh Allen, because of them 88 yards running the football and 2 rushing touchdowns. Fam, that was the best. That was by far his best game this year, but that was the best I've seen him in a minute, like point blank period, bro. Like, just he was fast, he was quick, and honestly, I'll be honest, him and CJ are the only 2 quarterbacks I really sat down and watched this week. So it's kind of unfair, but I mean, Dak also had 355 and 4 tuds. Like, I'm not gonna sleep on that either. He was really right there.
He was the master class last week, though. If we give him 2 more master class, he's automatically the MVP. Like, bro, no.
Jalen Hurts just had 5. Jalen Hurts just had 5 touchdowns. Who else did you say just had 5 touchdowns this week? Somebody else did. Oh no, that was college. I'm sorry. I think it was
yeah, that was Fafita.
Yeah, my bad, Fafita. But either way, the touchdown bug going crazy right now, man. For real.
Nah, yeah. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he did have 2 back-to-back rushing touchdowns of the game. He did throw for 3 and had 2 rushing in that same game. Okay, he might have subtly got the masterclass right there, but no. Jalen Hurts has done that before. We're talking about a perfect passer rating from Brock Purdy. Come on, bruh. Brother Achuba.
Wow, dude.
Look, man, that's going to wrap it up, y'all. Y'all already know what it is. Another week, another day, waiting for the song to play. It's loading. I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm excited because this was like we just went over the rivalry week. It was a crazy, crazy slate of games. Had to talk about it for so long. And now we're going into conference championship week for the college football games. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing what some of these teams have been able to do. It's amazing to see just there's still implications on the line. Obviously, we get the championship weekend and you think, or conference championship weekend, and you think, everything's done, everything's good. Like, there could be no more parity, right? There could be no more changing of the threshold. But Iowa still has to take on Michigan. Oregon still has to take on Washington one more time. Alabama has to go against Georgia. We could be seeing a totally different top. Louisville, Florida State, we'd be seeing a totally different top 10 shakeup this next week, man, because there's 5 and 6 is going against each other. 2 and 10 is going against each other. 9 and 8, I think, like, you would have thought this was a playoff, man. I really can't get this music to play, so
it's okay
we're just
because
gonna have to.
I'm a real fucking Buckeye. You feel me? Like real deal to the core, like all the way down to my fucking heart. If you open this bitch up, it's gonna say born and raised in Ohio, and I'm gonna bleed this shit until I fucking die. Cause this ain't right. This ain't right. Shout out to the Michigan fans out there. Y'all motherfuckers actually like earned respect from me for the first time in my life. Like that, I'm being 100. But cause this ain't right, bro. We don't do this. This ain't normal. This shit cannot last. So I don't hold that much power in this world. I don't. There's not a word I could say that I could probably ever reach the team. But dog, just for the forces out there, we got to fight every single day. 361 more days because y'all, when we get on that field in Columbus against the Maize and Blue, they waved a flag on our shit after they won in our stadium. They won in their stadium and rushed the field 2 years ago and just did that shit last weekend. Again, it was like the party never ended. They were all right back in the same spots, celebrating again. I pray, I hope that Ryan Day felt that, and it burns, dog, for real. Like, cause dead ass, it's not normal. It don't feel right. First losing streak for 3 since 1993 through 97. That's a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all, bro. We gotta get this shit back. We can't be like them and lose 8 straight. I'm not trying to lose 8 straight, bro.
Come on,
I don't know about y'all. Like, I'm not. So, come on, man. Figure this shit out.
8 in a row. We can't be here. It's crazy. It's one of those things, man. Like, gotta get back. It's gonna take a second, but you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be right back here a year from now, wondering what the fuck is up, man. It's crazy. The music's really not playing, man. I can't refresh the page, y'all.
Wow.
We're not. I'm trying. Hold on, man. Hey! Look, man. It's crazy. I want to march it out right now, y'all, but we can't.
Watch.
Another week is coming up, man. I hope, I pray that y'all have a blessed weekend. I hope y'all had I hope y'all also had a good, what do you want to call it, man? Thanksgiving? Hope y'all are showing what y'all are thankful for. Shit like that. Let me see. I don't even know if you can hear that. You probably can't hear it. The fans at home, man, look. The show's over. That's all we got, man. We can't march it out, y'all. Can't do it tonight.
Peace out, y'all.
Crazy.
Love you.
Peace. Thank you for sticking around. This was a longer episode, y'all. Love y'all, man. Peace.
Factors.